Hello everyone, it's Athenian200 again. I just got back from serving jury duty. Okay, well, it was kind of an interesting story what happened. I got on the bus and I went down there. Apparently I went down there too early though because it was, I left at 6 because I was paranoid about running out of time or something. But when I got on the bus there was nobody else on it. I was the only one there. And when I got on the train, there were people on that though. I took the route that Google suggested I take, although apparently the street had changed a lot. And anyway, I feel like I kind of took advantage of all the idiot fail-safes, or what you call them, today. I was just so incompetent today. Well, first thing that happened was I went to the end of the street and I found Market Street, the street I was supposed to find. And so I had to ask this guy for directions. I said, where's the court building? And then it turned out that it was just that if I just looked over in the other direction, I would have seen it. I just somehow missed it, and he just pointed it right to it, and it was just right there across a couple of streets. I mean, I knew what it looked like from looking at a picture of it, and then somehow I failed to see it. Anyway, that was the first thing, and then I went into the court building. I went in there and I had to put my stuff on a little security scanner. And then when I did, I almost lost one of my wallet. Yeah. I almost lost my wallet, and then I had to ask the guy. It was stuck in the machine, and they had to pull it out because, yeah, I had to wait for them to fish it out because it got stuck in the machine. Anyway, and after that, they told me to go wait in the jury room, and I kept looking around for the jury room. I kept looking around down on the ground floor for this little sign. Okay, where's the little sign for the jury room? And then finally I had to ask them again, okay, where is the jury room? And they had to point to it, and then I looked up at it and I realized there was a big, huge painted sign over it saying Central Jury Room. I managed to miss that too. Anyway. After that I went in there to sit down, and I waited for about I got there around 7:09, so I was supposed to be there till 8, so I ended up having to wait for about an hour. Anyway, yeah, after I got there, I waited, and then this one lady sort of started looking off in my direction. I was wondering for a while, and I was wondering if she wanted something. I said, "Oh, do you need something?" And then she said, "No, I was just wondering if you were supposed to check in." And then after that, then she went off to check in. Then I noticed a lot of other people getting up and going out, so I figured, maybe we were supposed to check in after a certain time. And then so I went ahead, and sure enough, there was a line, and I went to check in and everything, and then there was this little officer guy there asking people if they'd filled out their little form, and I had filled out my little form, right? It was the jury summons form. It was this. Yeah, it was this. Yeah, anyway, the funny thing about it was I thought I was supposed to fill it out and bring it up there, right? Well, guess what? I wasn't. Apparently, hidden on this little flap right here was information saying that you either have to do it online or mail it in within 10 days. Now, obviously, that's kind of counterintuitive, and it was hidden on that little flap right there. Now, how was I supposed to see that? Anyway, so they told me what I had to do. They had all these little computers provided for us to do it online right there. And they logged me on, and I had to do it online. I thought like kind of an idiot after that. Anyway, so I waited in that central jury room for several hours. And then, yeah, I waited in there for, not several hours, but like a couple of hours. And there was this big presentation talking about what it meant to be a juror and why it was part of the Constitution and everything, and all that. And there were lots of little flags around the room, and there were little pieces of the Constitution, various copies of it, I think, around the room. Anyway, I just waited there for a while, and eventually this judge came out, and he told us lots of things about. He reiterated that it was our civic duty and how it was the basis of our civilization, the jury process, and mentioned how it was mentioned twice in the Constitution, and then told us about how civilized it was. And at one point he made reference to the fact that before trials were more accepted and established, people often solved things using duels, and he cited the example of Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr going from New York to New Jersey, and Alexander Hamilton getting shot. And he made some kind of joke about it was because New York had outlawed dueling and New Jersey still let it, and then he joked that that was proof that New York was more civilized than New Jersey. Anyway, and then we just waited for our various juror numbers to be sequences to be called. He'd call out ranges of them and then send a whole range of jurors off to a certain room. And I waited for mine to be called, and mine was one of the last ones called. I think it was like the 5th one because I had a pretty high number. So when I went ahead and I got up there, and when I got up there I waited for a while, and it turned out that the case was dismissed, so I didn't have to serve. So I kind of went up there for nothing. I mean, you'd think they'd know if you were going to have to serve or not before you got there, but oh well. Let's see. Okay. After that, I looked at my past, and I realized that I could have taken a route that I knew better than the one I had taken, because it was equally distant from the one I'd taken and the one I knew. So I went ahead and tried to go back on the one I actually knew about. I had wondered why Google hadn't given me that one, but anyway, it turned out after taking it that the bus I thought was going to take me home took me to a new station, one I'd never heard of before. I mean, it was just the one I was at this morning when I got on the train. I mean, the rail thing. Yeah, I got on that, and it just took me to this other station, and then I asked the bus driver, did this route change? Has this route changed since last year? And he said yes. And then I actually did have to get on the bus that I'd taken to get there. Okay, so I got on that bus. It was the 374, I think. Yeah, and then I got on that one, and I waited for a while, and it eventually took me to another station. This one I recognized, but I wasn't sure, so I asked, is this bus stopping at the roads I live near? And they said, oh yeah, it just stops at this station before going there, and that was kind of a relief, so it did go home. Yeah, although it still would have been, considering that apparently they've opened up a new station or something that I didn't know about, and that makes it quicker to take the route Google was suggesting than the one I already knew, which is why Google wasn't suggesting it. Yeah. And now I'm back home. It's 1 p.m. and I've kind of got a headache from not eating. Oh yeah, one weird thing I forgot to mention. At one of the bus stops, there was this guy singing randomly. He was sitting next to me and he was just singing. I didn't really know what to do. I mean, he was pretty good at it, but it was kind of unexpected. He'd just start singing parts of random songs just off and on. So what I'd do at the end of each song was I'd clap. I didn't really know what he wanted, so I just figured I'll clap for him at the end of each song. Okay. Yeah, so that was an interesting experience. Well, see you everyone. Bye.